everyone! Today we're going to be learning how to do some basic adjustments on Photoshop with brightness, contrast, levels, and curves. This is a photo I took. It doesn't really need any edits because it's already had some, but I just like the photo, so I'm going to use it. So we're going to go over to our brightness contrast adjustment, which lives right here. You also could go up to image adjustments and have the same options down there. So you want to make sure you're clicked on this brightness contrast layer because that's going to make sure that we're going to see it and that the adjustments are going to be made. And you can just move this little cursor back and forth for your brightness and your contrast. That's what it looks like when you adjust the image. You can also use legacy, which just makes it look a little different, adjust the brightness and the contrast in a different way. So you can take a look at what that looks like. I am not going to do that. I'm just going to use the regular version. So I'm just going to adjust my brightness and my contrast a little bit for you to see. And we're just making a basic adjustment. So now I'm done with that. And I'm going to go over to levels next and show you how that works. We also have the curves over here. So click on levels and we're going to turn off our brightness contrast so we can't see that adjustment because we don't want these two adjustments on top of each other. I'm just comparing them. So this does the shadows and the highlights as well as the midtones in your piece. So you see that little slider, you can move it and it'll adjust the colors. You also have the output level, how much shadow is there and how much highlight is there, so you can adjust that as well. So I'm going to start my adjustments. I actually don't think that I want to play with the shadow, just with the highlight in this one. So we're going to see what that looks like. And then afterwards, I'm going to turn it off, compare a little bit. And I think that we're done with that one. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this window and turn off the visibility for levels so that we don't see them when we go into our curves. Now, curves also is an adjustment of the highlights and shadows in your piece. So you can drag this little slider up and down and it'll look different in different parts of your piece. So you can see here, when I move the highlights up, it looks a lot different than when I go up here and I move the highlights up in a different area. So I'm just going to play around sort of see what looks good for me here. And I think I like it right there, and I'm going to move down to my shadows. Whoops, that's a little bit dark. And I just want to adjust them a teeny tiny bit. I don't want them to look too much different from where they were before, so I'm just going to flatten it a little here down towards the bottom. Keep playing with it a little bit, and once I feel good about it, I'm going to go ahead do that little turning it off thing so that we can compare and contrast all of them. So the first thing I want to do is go over here and turn off the curves layer that we just did so that we can do a little compare and contrast. Haha, contrast, so funny, hee hee. Then do the same with the levels. See, that one's when we did a little bit more with the brightness. And then brightness and contrast. Here's what it looks like if I turn them all on together. Since that's not what we were going for today, it doesn't look very good, but I just wanted to show you. This video was meant to really show you the difference between the three techniques and how to use them and what they look like on your photo. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about Photoshop.